I should never have gone into that forest. Even now, when the night is quiet, I still hear it, drums with no hands to beat them. It happened when I was 17. But the story began much earlier, when we were children. The elders would gather us around the fire on moonless nights. Their voices were low and heavy. They pointed their walking sticks toward the dark trees across the river and said, "That is no place for the living. Beyond the Iroko trees lies the land of the restless. Step there, and the ground will remember your footprints forever." We laughed, of course. Children always laugh at warnings. We whispered among ourselves, daring each other to go and see. But not one of us ever crossed. Even in play, our feet stopped at the river's edge. Something in the air told us the elders were not lying. Still, years passed. Hunger grew, and the forest on our side of the river grew thin. Animals were fewer. Traps lay empty. The hunters' faces became worried. And that was when I, young and foolish, decided to prove myself. Our village had gone many days without meat. Children cried at night. I saw my mother measure out the last handful of grain, stretching it among my younger brothers. Shame burned inside me. I told myself, if I bring home meat today, they will know I am no longer a boy. The elders had warned us. But hunger is louder than warnings. So before the sun climbed high, I slung my bow across my shoulder, tied my quiver, and crossed the river. The water was cold, biting at my legs. Each step felt heavier than the last. Still, I pushed on. It is just a forest, I told myself. Trees cannot harm me. Stories cannot touch me. But the moment I set foot on the far bank, the air thickened. Heavier. Heavier still, until every breath felt like swallowing smoke. At first, it seemed normal. Birds sang above me. Monkeys barked in the branches. The smell of wet earth clung to the air. I walked carefully, eyes sharp for signs of game. But after some steps, the world went quiet. The birds vanished. The monkeys stopped. Even the insects hid. The silence pressed against my ears until my heartbeat was the only sound left. Then I heard it. Dum, 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 dum. Drums. Slow. Deep. Rising from the ground itself. I froze. My bowstring slipped from my fingers. Sweat ran down my back. I looked left. Right. Nothing. No people. No smoke. Just trees, tall, still, watching. The drums grew louder. Louder. Faster. They were not music. They were calling. I wanted to run. My mind screamed, "Go back." But my legs moved forward, step by step. The forest was pulling me in. And then I saw it. A clearing. In the center, tall wooden drums stood in a circle. Their skins glowed pale, stretched tight, trembling though no hands touched them. With each beat, the ground shook. Around them lay broken spears, rusted blades, shields cracked in two. Bones half buried in the soil. Skulls staring from the dirt. Some still wore beads around their necks. This was no hunting ground. This was a grave. And I understood. These were the warriors of old. They had sworn an oath never to retreat. When they fell, their bodies rotted, but their spirits stayed, beating their anger into the earth, waiting for someone to hear. The sound pounded my chest. My breath caught. My head split with pain. I dropped my bow. My knees struck the earth. And then, clear as day, the drum spoke. Many voices, heavy and broken, yet as one. Remember us. Tell them we still keep the oath. The ground swayed. Shadows rose. Men without faces, bodies broken, yet holding spears. They stood around the drums, watching. Their mouths moved, but only the drum spoke. Their rage, their sorrow, their endless waiting filled me like a flood. I do not know how long I stayed. Time melted away. But at last, the sound faded. The shadows sank back. When I opened my eyes, the sky was red with evening. The drums stood silent. My bow was gone. Only my footprints led back to the river. I ran. I stumbled across the water. I ran until my chest burned, until the roofs of the village appeared. I said nothing. Not to my mother. Not to my brothers. Not to anyone. But the elders knew. When they looked at me, they knew. And then the strange things began. At night, I woke to the sound of faint drumming. Not outside. Inside my chest. Dum, 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 dum. My hands shook when I tried to sleep. The children said I talked in my dreams, calling out names no one remembered. One night, when the moon was high, I stepped outside and found footprints in the dust. They circled our hut, but they were not mine. Bare feet. Wide. Heavy. Too many to count. And sometimes, when the village was quiet, I heard it. Far away, across the river. Faint, but real. The silent drums were still beating. And I tell you this now, if ever you hear drums in a quiet forest, do not follow. Because once you listen, they will follow you too.